Hello everybody, this is Oliver Hines from MetalUnderground.com, and I'm really happy to say we're with Mike from Darkest Hour.
How you doing?
All good. How's yourself?
I'm good. I'm here in London. Had a great day. Ate some fish and chips, and now I'm ready to rock the underworld.
Normally when people eat our food, they're ready to just vomit.
We're Americans. We've trained. We eat real bad, so we're ready. We are descended from your culture, so we fit right in.
Well, straight into it. Obviously, right now you're on tour with Fallujah and on Misère. How did this combination come about?
Well, right now we are on tour with Fallujah, Misère, Bloodlet, and Lowest Creature.
I didn't realise there was that many bands tonight.
That's the tour. So Lowest Creature is badass. They're from Sweden, and they're fucking awesome. They were, I'm not going to say they were our pick or anything, but they were the young band that you could have put anybody in there, and we just like loved their vibe. And after seeing them live, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
Then the second band is the Misère. It's hard to say, but they're from Iceland, and they're amazing. They put on an incredible show for the second band. I mean, of course, they're from Iceland, so you got to be really good to rise out of there. So it's awesome. It's kind of newer. So you've got sort of a more old school leaning new band, more new school leaning new band, and then you have a very special band called Bloodlet, who is a band that has songs that are older than Darkest Hour, and they are a band that influenced Darkest Hour. We sort of trudged them up from the Florida swamp and brought them back out here just to remind everybody we come from a place, this old, hardcore, metalcore version 1, whatever you want to call it, world. So, and then lastly, Fallujah is there to round it all out because they're like insanely good musicians on a whole new level, lifers, great progressive death metal, smart, forward-thinking, good shit, you know? And so that kind of rounds out a really awesome tour package. And it's a long night, but we felt a lot of energy from people at the end, so I think it's a good party in general.
Good. Obviously, as well, at the moment, you're still promoting Godless Prophets and Migrant Flora, which has been out for just under 3 years now.
If you have to live in the like 90s tour, you know, band tour record philosophy, then yes, we are technically on the tour cycle for Godless Prophets. But what we kind of did is we made up our own tour cycle, which is that we're 25. Instead of giving you another album and now making it harder to play songs of albums you've fallen in love with, how about if we just do a tour cycle where we play a bunch of stuff we never played?
Oh,
you know,
cool.
we like look at your feedback and listen to you all as, you know, audience listeners and go, oh, and it's really been exciting and fun to play these new songs. It's a lot of fun for us. So this is kind of a made up tour cycle of stuff you never get to hear. And we're going to be slamming you with a new album, but I mean, we've already got 9, and you know, a Darkest Hour set live can consist of almost 14 songs. But at that point, it's just irresponsible to push John because he's got to sing the next night and the next night. And I hate to peg it on him because the drums are very tiring too. You know, the 3 of us, fuck us, we could be up there forever. But still, it's hard, and you got to pace yourself. So you end up just skipping over a lot of songs, and that's kind of where we're at. So this is the 25th anniversary tour cycle as we work on album 10.
Yeah, it's a quite a different way of celebrating the 25th anniversary as well, because it's also the 20th anniversary of the Mark of Judas. So the normal thing would, like when it's an anniversary like that, would be to play that album in full, or to do like a best of for your 25th anniversary or something like that.
Well, we did an album in full with Undoing Ruin. We did that tour. We were afraid to do the Mark of the Judas tour because we just thought maybe that's just a little too niche.
Okay.
But we are playing the song, The Mark of the Judas, the title track, which we never played. And we are celebrating with a bunch of other kind of crazy, only for, you know, our fans on the internet releases we're doing through a new website portal called Patreon. It's like a monthly subscription. So we've got some cool physical and just cool stuff for people that want to celebrate the 25th anniversary with like things. And but this tour is more just like we love the back catalog too, and we found a way to really listen to what people are saying outside of social media. Because social media is fucked. It's impossible to cut through that white noise. But having used been using our Patreon website and having really been working on digging in to connect with people on those various websites, we've got an idea of the stuff we skipped over, and we're hoping to kind of bring people who aren't on the internet back to the shows too, and just re-energize people, because the band plays better than ever and sounds better than ever. So we think we can win you over if we can get you in the room.
Absolutely. But you mentioned, I think you mentioned a new album. So would that be expected later this year or next year?
Here's the thing, we're gonna do this all on our own pace, right?
Yeah.
And so I could tell you it could be later this year, but it might be the beginning of next year, because we might just decide to dig in and keep doing this thing, you know, and keep giving people cool little treats on the Patreon website, you know, our internet thing, and slowly build up to it. I mean, it's album 10.
Yeah.
We have to ask ourselves why and what do we have to say. You know, why do it and what do we have to say? And I think we know internally what our direction is and we're pushing there, but I don't think there's any rush other than the urgency to make something amazing. There's no rush to get it to people, because what we found is that there's plenty of songs we've skipped over that people love, and right now that's what we're celebrating while we take the time to make, you know, hopefully our best album ever.
Yeah. And like you say, it gives you a bit more freedom doing it via Patreon rather than having a label breathe down your neck.
But we are using a label.
I know you're on
that's the
Southern
thing.
Lord.
This isn't like separate. That's just like, imagine like a fan club that people can pay to be a part of. And you'd say, well, why would you pay for anything? It's all on the internet. But Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these things have a lot of limitations, you know? And this little fan club thing, I don't even want to belittle it like that, because it's really awesome. We like it. But this monthly subscription thing we're doing has nothing to do with the new stuff. It's more old trinkets of physical and digital and songs you might never heard, you know. And it's more of where you can dig into the history of Darkest Hour without being advertised to, without having to look at a million links, being, you know what I mean? So it's all in one place, cataloged. Meanwhile, I mean, we want to attack the world with a traditional album release at the same time.
Yeah.
And everybody on our monthly subscription service, they want that too, because they are our biggest supporters in a way. They're happy to support the band monthly and then help us take that album and sell it to the world. They don't feel slighted. They're our teammates. And, you know, that's kind of circular with the way the band sort of started in the DIY kind of punk hardcore world, where we've kind of learned to just rely on people that love the band, and as long as we are constantly giving them what they've accepted as something they love, then we have a reciprocal process that works for everyone, you know?
Yeah. No, I was actually going to ask you about like the hardcore punk background kind of thing, because obviously DC's quite famous for its hardcore scene back in the day. Bands like Bad Brains. I know they were from DC originally, but
every band's from a city.
Yeah.
Darkest Hour's from the greater Washington metropolitan area.
Yeah.
If you look at rock and heavy metal, we don't have a lot of heroes, you know? And your heroes of your cities are important because they set the tone of what the scene, even if this is hip hop, even this is not even death metal, it's country music. The legends of your city, you know, Prince, you know, in Minneapolis, helped set the tone for extremely amazing musicians, great live shows. You know, Minneapolis had that as their king, you know. Well, in DC, our king was Fugazi, you know, not a king, but our rulers. And we got to grow up seeing them play, but we also got to grow up hearing them talk about how they were doing their business, how they were controlling everything. And we watched as the world respected them. We saw it could be done, like right there. Not only that, we were able to actually meet the people in the band. We were actually able to go to Discord to see your favorite punk icon, Ian MacKaye, put in a record in a box and shipping it.
Yeah.
There's no shame in hard work, you know? And so for us, we internalized that, but then we also fell in love with heavy metal. I mean, we're just as much Minor Threat as we are Van Halen. So we went down the rock and roll road, we gambled it all, and we found out some things, we learned some things, we gained some things, but we always had the base of like knowing that you can do a band with only the 5 people in the band being in charge and them doing all the work and be okay if you love it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a powerful thing to have when you start and to be able to carry with you through the pitfalls of being in a band.
Very interesting. I say it's that kind of DIY ethic of punk in general, but to be able to see.
I mean, just to be able to literally see Fugazi play for free at Fort Reno and have there be thousands of people and just have them not give a shit about selling a t-shirt. Not even give a shit about a door. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like to not even think, let's fucking merchandise the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
To think, no, let's not. Let's just keep it special. And also, we're not going to play traditional clubs. We're not going to just be a rock band. We're going to play VFW halls. We're going to play basketball gyms. We're going to play punk art spaces. You know, music doesn't have to exist where bars exist.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that we learned too. We did our first tours in VFW halls and weird youth centers. I mean, now we're too old for that shit and we like to put on the Kiss rock show. But knowing that a great show can happen without all this hoopla is kind of powerful. Because it lets you know what's important at the show that you're at.
Yeah. Getting back to your own albums and that kind of thing. Before The Godless, you had the self-titled album, which was quite experimental and a little bit different from the previous releases. Well, quite markedly different. But has that experiment? How much of that experimentation continued into Godless Heroes, and how much of that sticks with you while you're writing now?
So we experiment all the time. So I just want to be clear. The question is, how much of the experimenting from self-titled into Godless Prophets is coming with us?
Yeah.
Well, I think people need to understand that Darkest Hour is kind of like a sponge.
Yeah.
We soak up a lot of the producers we work with, the labels we've worked with. And so I think there was experimenting that was done on the self-titled record, but there was also a lot of interaction that was happening with Sumerian. So I think people need to understand that there will be plenty of experimenting, but it will be under a completely different magnifying lens, so it won't look anything like what they've seen.
Oh, okay.
So, who knows?
That's a great way to keep the band fresh, and
it's the only way.
Well, yeah. Plus,
I mean, you think you might want an album of all Darkest Hour thrash songs, but I don't think you do. I think you already have that playlist you can make from all the 9 albums that exist.
Yeah.
I think people just want something that lyrically connects to where they're at now, that sonically makes them feel something, and is enjoyable, you know, and like that involves surprising them a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the trick.
Cool. On that note, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me today, Mike. I really do appreciate it.
Cheers, man.
All the best.
Hope you enjoy the show if you stay.
I'm sure I will.
All right, cool.